daughter is and whatnot. So I just want y'all to kind of zoom in on that and whatnot. This is a young black boy slash girl now, and Dad Dwayne is doing everything he can in his power. And I'm going to touch up on that. I'm going to actually read that article, real short article from Black Sports Online, of course, curated on the Newstoter platform. So I just want to touch up on that real quick. Let you guys hear this actual article. Just get your opinion on it, what you think about it, how do you feel about the actual, this isn't accidental here. Like, and when you read the article, when you hear me read the article, I should say, and if you guys want to read it yourself, I put it up there in the Jumbotron so you can definitely click it. You're going to kind of be amazed because, they make sure that they cover the family dynamic. Like, they're intentionally screwing this dude's mother over. The woman that gave birth to this kid right here, Dwayne Wade is intentionally saying that, she shouldn't have any rights because he's a custodial parent. So how in the world you would think that when people break up that they could at least come together and do joint custody or raise a kid together or whatever, but that's not the case. And pretty much Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade are pretty much raising this kid with the Hollywood mindset and whatnot. So 15-year-old kid up here, I just got to go ahead and read this, man. Like, this is wild here. Let me go ahead and touch upon this real quick, and then everybody can chime in that wants to actually chime in. We're definitely not going to stop anybody that wants to raise their hand tonight and that wants to actually do it. So, like I said, this is Black Sports Online, curated on the Newstoter platform. And this is about Dwayne Wade. He said, Dwayne Wade's son, now daughter Zaya, is the face of a Tiffany's ad campaign. Social media folks are praising the looks of Dwayne Wade's trans daughter Zaya in the Tiffany ad campaign. Folks reviewed her new look in the ad and rated her a 10 via MTO News. Dwayne Wade's transgender daughter Zaya in her first major modeling campaign, and fans are giving her new look rave reviews. Through the help of her stepmother, of course, who else, Zaya has embarked on a pretty serious modeling career, and her first big campaign is with the luxury jewelry company Tiffany. Zaya showed off her new look for the new campaign, and she looked amazing. Last month, Zaya's father, Dwayne Wade, petitioned the court to change Zaya's gender on her birth certificate from male to female. In the court documents, Dwayne told the court that Zaya's mother, Miss Penel, I know I'm saying the name wrong, but Sia Vaughn Wade should have no say in the decision since he is a custodial parent. Excuse me. Many fans of Dwayne Wade are speculating that the legal gender change is the first step in Zaya undergoing a medical procedure to change her body parts and begin getting hormonal treatment. Zaya is just 15 years old. Zaya came out as a transgender woman at the age of 11 in 2019. How in the hell can you be 11 years old and come out as a woman, whether you straight or gay or whatever, at the age of 11? Wade legally changed her name to Zaya. 2 years ago, Zaya Wade came out and revealed her gender to her genre to the public. Shortly thereafter, her father, Dwayne Wade, appeared on The Ellen Show to, among other things, show his support for his daughter and explain the thought process behind the decision. To date, the three-time NBA champion has become an advocate for the LGBTQ plus rights, with his primary focus being on the trans community. Earlier this year, the all-time leading scorer for the Miami Heat spoke at the Time 100 Summit about trans rights to convince lawmakers to loosen their grip on the restrictions that trans females are now faced with in competitive sports. And now he's appealing for a judge in Los Angeles County to legally recognize his daughter's gender change the name from Zion Wade to Zaya Wade. Because Zaya 15 is still a minor, her father had to file a name gender change petition on her behalf. According to the report, there's a section of the paperwork that specifically asks for a reason behind the request. Dwayne reportedly wrote to confirm gender identity in that section. Now the Wade family must wait as the decision lies in the hands of a judge. So, yeah, we just wanted to go ahead and touch up on that real quick. And like I said, this is crazy because Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, the actual biological mother of the child has no say. That's what Dwayne's saying. Now, how painful does it have to be for the stepmother, who's also one of the ones probably organizing all of this stuff, to sit up here and pretty much take full control over your own child and you can't say anything? You gave birth to this child. You probably even named this child. And now you have to sit back there while your child is just put off as some kind of mascot for the actual public because the stepmommy and the daddy want to actually go ahead and do this. This is like I said, I just had to just touch upon this tonight because I just found this to be totally bizarre right here. Not only that, but they're saying that this is the first step in, the actual changing the child's body parts. Now they're gonna start talking about putting the child on some kind of hormones. A 15-year-old child, like they couldn't wait till the child hit 18 years old and decide for the child's self when the child's actually a grown up. You're sitting up here, you're gonna change the child's name, you're gonna take any kind of power away from the mother, you're gonna give all kind of power because I believe Gabby probably wasn't really running the show, so you're gonna give her all the kind of power to make these decisions. And now you're gonna put the child on the hormones and possibly talk about cutting the child's body parts apart. I mean, this kind of stuff you really can't make up. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, everybody? I'm still a little bit under the weather, so please, excuse me. So I think everything we all agree, man. This is wrong. First of all,
you super low, Ray. I know you ain't feeling good.
So, all right, yeah, hear me better?
Yeah, you're a little bit better, but you super low tonight. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let me see if I can move real quick. So, if you're 18, obviously do what you want. You're an adult. But this is a 14, 15-year-old child. You should not, for any reason, be mutilating no child's body. And I've said this before. That's the reason that this is the kind of problem that I have with the LGBT community because they don't know when to stop. It's never enough. It's not just, like I said, this thing has went from, I just want to love who I love to, hey, let me cut this little girl's breast off so she can't grow breasts. I've said this before. We talked about this openly on the platform before. They give these kids this drug. I think it was called Luprod. And it's the same drug that they use to chemically castrate sex offenders. And this is what they give to these kids. This stuff is wrong. Like I said, if you're 18, by all means, knock yourself out. But, they're pushing this agenda. That's all it is. They're pushing this because they want it to become more normalized. Family, it's on us. It's on us to step up and say, oh, hell no. Just because Dwayne Wade's son, daughter, whoever's doing it, that don't mean that shit's going to fly in my house. That's just how I feel about it. I will laugh right there.
Yeah, and this is the thing that they use it. And so many times with black people that a celebrity face means everything in the world to us. So now you're taking, like they say, a 3-time NBA champion. You're taking one of the most marketable NBA stars that has been probably the last 25 years and whatnot, Dwayne Wade. Plus, stepmom is a star. You got Gabrielle Union, the one that helped, push a lot of this stuff, taking to the kid to the little gay parades and all that kind of stuff like that, which to me, no child should be going, whether straight or gay, should be going to any of these parades and stuff like that where, it's heavily sexualized. But okay, anyways. But like I say, now you're going to add, and then you got a Tiffany's. They couldn't find just a regular little girl to go ahead. They couldn't give that to a regular little black girl and go ahead and put her as the head of the campaign or nothing like that. They had to take an actual black boy that's trying to actually become a girl and use this as the face of the campaign. So you're sending a message to the black people and whatnot. And like I say, Dwayne Wade, they figure that he has a name, he has the star power, and then the stepmom has a star power as well too. So perfect marketing. You got the Tiffany's, one of the biggest diamond jewelry companies in the country. You got Dwayne Wade, all-star, former superstar basketball player. Now you got Gabrielle Union, Hollywood actress and whatnot. So just the perfect storm to be formed like that. And like I said, a million black girls out there would love to be the actual face of Tiffany, but that's not the case. They got to go ahead and you got to actually get a boy who was born a boy and go ahead, 15 years old, and use him as a face for Tiffany and whatnot. So this is just black person. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get in, and Ray, I'll let you come back.
Hey, what's up to the black family, man? Peace to the host and the co-host, man. I'm mad at Ray, and I hope you get brother too, brother. Stole my talking point right off the top. But I'll say this from my observation, and like Ray said, I'm sure we would all agree. You can tell there is a absence of masculinity in that house because I'll use myself for an example. I have brothers and sisters, and in my house, my father's word it was the law. So my father and with the boys, with me and my brother, there was a certain way we could dress. There was a certain way we could talk. He only let us he monitored what we watched on TV. With my sisters or like with my mom, there were certain things they could wear. There were certain things they could wear. Certain subject matter they couldn't talk about. Certain things we couldn't watch on TV. And if you disobeyed that, there were consequences. Like I said, masculinity ruled my household. You can act, you can see. You don't even have to wonder. There is a total absence of masculinity in that household, and you literally see the sum total of that with how literally they're destroying that little boy's psyche. And I'll land my plane and talk later.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna get it to you, Ray. Here's the thing. I raised by both my mom and dad, I feel you, black pressure, but my mom wasn't gonna go for no shit like that. Period. Like, let alone my dad. That was a no with my dad totally. But my mom wasn't gonna come in there, and I sitting up there and I'm talking about, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and my mom would be like, oh hell no. Let alone my dad, who definitely would have like, man, if you don't get out of here with that nonsense. So, like I said, this is just perfect marketing right here. To me, this is the way this is how you market something, and this is the way it's marketed to us right here by using celebrities. And they know that if they use celebrities, a certain portion of the black population is gonna go with it. I read a bunch of comments. I saw them in some Facebook groups and stuff, and I saw them on Facebook, and people were sitting up here to, oh, she looks abs. Women now sitting up, oh, she looks so beautiful. She looks so great. Oh, she's so beautiful. She's so pretty. She's so this. She's so that. And then when you have a dude chime in like, why don't y'all stop it? Like, first off, that's not a girl. That's a boy. And then people sit up here, a lot of women sit up here, a lot of black women too, sit up here and they start going off on a dude. That the dude is a bigot, that the dude is mean, that the dude is this, that the dude is that. And the dude simply sitting up here telling the damn truth. Like, hey, no matter what you may want to be, at the end of the day, you're not a girl, man. I mean, I don't understand why that's so hard to say. I mean, people can call themselves whatever they want to call themselves. You respect that or whatever. But then, like, I mean, people sitting up here and somebody, just like you have the right to call yourself something, somebody else has the right to also like disagree. Like, Press, I know you was gonna say something. I'm gonna kick it to the Queen Bee.
Yes, good evening. Thanks for giving me the mic, Newstoter. I was just going to basically agree with Black Pressure, about the lack of masculinity in that household because do y'all remember Dwayne Wade was wearing some funny looking feminine stuff? I'd say within the last couple of years, I've seen him, walking the red carpet with Gabrielle wearing some stuff that was questionable for a man to wear. So, I mean, I am not a bit surprised of what's going on. And I think, I don't know if Newstoter, if you talked about this or if I heard it when I was on my trip, some people who knew the Wades or out in the LA area or something, and they were talking about. I think that maybe they had like was it a transgender nanny or something for this child. So the influence that this kid has had, hasn't really been very masculine. So again, I think with all of that, I just can't say I'm a bit surprised, but it is disheartening. It's very sad, that this child, is going to go through all of the things that it's going to go through. And it may not even, this child may get to be like, 17, 18 years old and say, heck, what the heck happened to me? I don't want this. And then from what I heard, these things are irreversible. So I'll land my plane there. Thank you.
Oh, no problem, sister. I definitely appreciate it. Like, I definitely want to hear your sisters' voices. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this tonight because you guys are actually women, and you know, sometimes I think people kind of forget that they make being a woman so glamorous, and they forget the everyday struggles that y'all have to go through and whatnot, and just to sit up here and just to glance over that. It's not easy being a woman. I can't imagine what you guys go through daily. Just from a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint as well too, and just to gloss over that and think that everything is just roses and it's just all beautiful and this and that and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. Ray, you got it.
I was just gonna say real quick, family, this is on us, man. If we normalize this, the next generation is going to suffer because of our excuse me, of our inability to just kind of fight this. Because realistically, if we're just gonna be honest, the worst thing they can do is give us labels. Oh, you're homophobic. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. So what? Let them call us whatever they want. This is about our children. We got to be willing to stand up because I'm telling you, this is definitely going to get worse before it gets better. They're not going to stop. They already have a subsect within the LGBT called MAPS. I don't know if anyone's heard of MAPS yet, but MAPS stands for Minor Attracted Persons. The MAPS, they have their own flag and all this other stuff. And they even have a slogan that's like sex before 8 or else it's too late. I mean, this is some really, really sick shit. And the LGBT, they need to call them people out. They need to be like, seriously, like, we don't want to associate with them, nothing. And I'm just telling y'all, I haven't seen it yet. But I was just gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna land. Please, for God's sake, if TS Ring is heard its ass up in here, please don't let it get on the mic, because the last thing we need is a motherfucker that look like Warren Sapp with a fucking wig on and some fishnet stocking trying to lecture us about what masculinity is. I'm gonna land right there.
Ray, sometimes like just bringing that name up, it seems to just pop up out of nowhere. Like I was hoping nobody would, because I already had an idea when this topic came up. I'm like, man, we got to cover this, because I went ahead and I tweeted this out earlier today, and a bunch of people was like, what in the world what is this? And I just got a feeling that I said that to myself earlier today. I'm like, damn. I'm like, this is the kind of topic that who gonna come sticking their head up in the actual room tonight. So I just got a feeling now that it's definitely going to happen. But you're right. Like, yeah, we gotta. That means that everybody in the room, that those that don't want that person to come in here and actually speak, because I'm not even trying to mention the name. Y'all need to go ahead and let's go ahead and make sure we keep this conversation going and flowing. So we got to go ahead, and the room is quiet and it's the only person.
Yeah, because you already know what TS gonna be on. A couple of times that TS has been here. What's been the talking points? What's his name? Lil Nas X is a better rapper than Jay-Z. Dwayne Wade is the model father. So that tells you just right off the bat where TS's mind frame is. She doesn't care about the black family. This motherfucker walking around calling herself TS Giselle, thinking she's Beyonce, because everyone knows Beyonce's middle name is Giselle. Beyonce and you look nothing alike. That just tells you how the touch this motherfucker is. When I look at her, I don't see nothing but Beyonce. I see Barry White. I land.
You ain't never lying on that one, please. You can go ahead with that Beyonce stuff all day. Don't even, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really into Beyonce music like that, but nonetheless, Beyonce is an attractive woman. So let's keep it let's keep that comparison up out of here.
One more thing, and I'm gonna let you go. Have you seen this new notion that they got going on where if you are a straight man and you don't want to date a trans woman, they're saying that you're homophobic? Have anyone seen this logic? So basically, they're telling us that our personal preference, what I personally want, is bigoted, and that's not right. That's not right at all. You can't make me love. I love who I want to love.
Correct. I read that article, brother. Total, unadulterated nonsense. 100.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you go. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's the type of fucker we got going on. In our communities, we can't let that type of bull crap go on. I mean, when they telling you your personal preference is bigoted, what's next? What's next? Like I said, you already know. Like I said, I'm not gonna speak his name, but as soon as that person comes up in here, man, you already know a conversation that'll take a hell of a time, because you don't come in here.
Not to cut you off, Ray, but we not even let him get on the mic. I'm sorry, but nah, I don't even want to hear that nonsense tonight. Like straight up.
Biological women about what a woman is. Go to hell. I land there.
Yeah, I'm just to let everybody know. I don't care how many times request a mic and this and that. I don't even feel like hearing this nonsense and whatnot about straight up. So if that person wants to come and listen in the room, okay, that's fine. But actually getting on the mic and spotting this nonsense and stuff like that, this is the same BS liberal crap that they've been pushing since the late 60s that gradually over time and wore down a lot of the black people. And they started accepting this shit and accepting it and accepting it. Black Native, I'm going to go ahead and kick it to you. But one thing I want to say before this, one thing I found also so funny, and speak of the devil, I told y'all it was finna come. Guess who requested to get on? And speak of the devil, just you know who, just like I said, it was like it speak like when they say truth to power, it never fails. But check this out though. The same thing I found so funny about this, Dwayne Wade was a world-class athlete, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's sitting up here saying he's trying to find a way that trans women can compete against regular girls. Like, is this Negro crazy here?
No masculinity, the absence of masculinity. That's what that is.
Has this Negro bumped his head? You gonna sit up here and say that that's fair? That you're gonna have trans so-called women competing against natural born women, and that's fair?
No, that's the thing, bro. That's the thing. They're rewriting basically LGBT history. They're actually creating it as they go with that swimmer. They had a couple of MMA fighters and things like that. They want to beat up on women. That's not fair. Like, you want to have a transgender person versus a transgender person. That's one thing. Go knock yourself out. But don't be beating up on no biological women for the simple sake of, I'm just trying to create, some type of history. Because that's some bull crap.
I'm in agreement with you. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister. For those that's in the space, y'all make sure that y'all follow Newstoter. And we got our co-host up here. Once again, he has a new profile, but that's DJ up there. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and follow DJ as well, y'all. Make sure you follow Newstoter and DJ, and make sure everybody that's in the space, please go ahead and tweet out the link. Go ahead and tweet out the link. We should be able to get y'all all tweeted out. So Black Native, go ahead.
I ain't know who that was. I had a new co-host. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, that's DJ, man.
It's me, Mario. What's up, Newstoter? What's up, DJ? Don't let that big, strong, chisel chin, she-man come up here and speak. We don't want to be distracted.
Oh, hey, check my Jumbotron tweet up in the top left, yo.
She-Hulk? Is it She-Hulk up there? We don't have time for the buffoonery.
It's up in there, yo.
Strong jawed. I don't want to hear that lisp tonight. I wonder who's paying Dwayne Wade. We have to ask these questions. For him to serve his son up on a platter at 11 years old, I can't see y'all for some reason. Twitter keeps doing this every time I come in your page, Newstoter, but I can't see, but I'm going to speak. He served his son up. He was literally going to allow his son at 11 years old to cut off his penis. And you remember Bootsy got up there and criticized him, and then everybody made Bootsy feel bad because he was saying he doesn't even have that knowledge of sexuality yet. 11? He's not even considered a teen. But Dwayne Wade was going to allow this to happen. Let's speak about Magic Johnson and his son. Let's speak about Jade what's his name? Jaden Smith. Let's speak about him. So what's going on in Hollywood? See, we being controlled and run by the Greco-Roman Empire. This is their culture. And Newstoter, you said it. They beat us down. They actually have us submitting to their culture, and we think it's fine for men to sleep with little boys. I saw the picture, and at first I didn't know who it was, and then I saw the name, and I said, "That's the Wayne Wade son." And guess who was in there making comments? NAMBLA. I think that's the organization for men loving boys.
Yes, it's the North American Man Boy Love Association.
Yeah, because I was reading the comments, and they were in there. And you had a lot of pedophiles. Some are, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, she looks gorgeous. That's a fucking boy. Okay, with that I can't understand who's paying. How do our people stoop so low to allow their children to be manipulated like this? I mean, does he have some type of private contract going on? Because it's not just him; it's a whole slew of them that are allowing their children to be manipulated, sexually confused, and like I said, I can't see y'all, so I don't even know what the reactions are. But I just wanted to come in on that. Yeah, I saw the picture. He has officially, the boy looks officially like a little girl. I don't know if that's a weave in his hair. I don't know. I believe so. I don't know what's going on for his father, but his father was, like the sister say, questionable. He was walking around with a man purse. He had nail polish, fingernail polish, even before his son came out. So he was always questioning his sexuality. But for you to allow your child, your son, to go through this and you condone it instead of sitting back and trying to have a conversation with his son and figure out what's going on, maybe take him to get some psychological help. But you allowed it. And now this is this is the product of that. And he's out here looking like a full blown little girl. And I'll land my plane. I'm gonna have to come back in because I can't see anybody. I don't understand what's going on.
Come back in, sister. You get a chance, just come back in, and you know how they do these spaces and stuff like that. So yeah, just come back in if you can. And this thing is just this is like I said, this is a progression from the late '60s. I'm gonna kick it to you, Queen B. Just give me 1 second. This is a progression from the late '60s because you're talking to the same people now that we sit up here and we try to justify killing babies and whatnot. Oh, it's the woman's body, it's the woman's right, it's the woman's choice. I understand that there are some exceptions where abortion, I can understand some instances where abortion, if a woman had to have her life was in danger, to have been raped, incest, or something like that. I'm not ruling out those type of things. But just generally sit up here, and this was something that black women didn't just sit up here and go along with. Now, like I say, anything that these people go along with. To get along, we go right along with it. Yeah. Well, this woman's right. Well, did that woman make the damn baby by herself? No, she didn't make the baby by herself, but still, she a woman. I mean, just ridiculous stuff. But
I will say this, Newstoter. I'm gonna give black women an applause and a standing ovation because when that Roe v. Wade, when they reversed the Roe v. Wade, and they kept saying on every news channel how it was going to affect black women, as if black women are the only ones getting abortions out here. Black women said, "Oh hell no." That was the law. They really was trying us, Newstoter, but we was like, no, we gonna sit this one back. We good. We'll take care of our children like we've been doing. And how long did that damn protest last with them white women getting dragged across the streets and bashed upside the head while we were sitting at home drinking our mimosas, chilling in a bubble bath, eating strawberries and watching them on the news getting their head bashed in? It lasted about 2 weeks. I thought and that was long. That was longer than what I thought. I thought it would only last a week. You don't hear them marching out there no more, do you? Because we were supposed to be the punching bags. We were supposed to be the ones in the front. But see, it didn't turn out this way. And I just want to give a round of applause. I can't see anybody in here, any of their responses to the black woman who sat back and chilled like we should have been doing and let them handle this. Because believe it or not, a lot of white women out here get abortions at an early age. I remember when I was in high school and used to see some black teenage girls would be pregnant, and I'm like, I know they having sex, I know they, excuse my French, fucking, you know what I'm saying? So why they never wind up pregnant? No, they would go and disappear for 2 or 3 months and then pop back up in school. They was getting them abortions at 14 and 15 and 16 years old. Then they put them on birth control pills, so they been getting abortions. So see, that's why they were outraged. So yeah, we sat that back. I'm glad we did. And now they see where we stand. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you ain't gonna keep trying to use us as your punching bags and as your leverage. Black women, no, we're not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? We finally are rising up, and I thank God for that. But I'm gonna land my plane. I'm gonna come back in because I can't see anything, and listen in.
Thank you, sister. Thank you as always. We're gonna kick it to Queen B, and we're gonna kick it to Black Pressure and DJ. I know you, DJ. You want to say something real quick before we go ahead and kick it to Queen B? I know you had your hand up.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead now.
Okay, Queen B, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Yeah, I was just going to say, where are the feminists with all this going on? Because I'm thinking about this store Tiffany's and, how many black girls were actually passed over for this. But, really not just that, but, this whole movement where with the trans community being able to compete and all of that now, I'm just surprised that the feminists haven't been more vocal about it. Especially when it comes to their children losing out on scholarships or whatever some of these consequences are when you have this unfair disadvantage when it comes to sports and all of these other things. But yeah, I'm just waiting, because I'm thinking sooner or later it will, unless they just don't mind. Like I think somebody said, with us serving our children up to be the poster children of this type of thing. But yeah, I wonder, if Tiffany's was looking for any black girls, if this was an audition process or what happened, for this. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I'll land. Thank you.
And I said that same thing earlier when I was reading. I like, now, what about all the black girls that got passed up? What about the 15-year-old black girls, that could have had a chance, that would have loved to been a model or a spokesman or whatever on an advertisement for Tiffany's? Why can't we? Plenty beautiful black girls out there. Why couldn't they get a chance to actually represent Tiffany's? So you had to actually go and find a trans boy, a trans girl or whatever, and put them in there when you got all these black girls sitting up here in America that would have loved to actually been up there and being seen and be modeling and everything else. You got plenty of black girls that love diamonds and jewelry and gold and everything else. Why they couldn't be up there? Why couldn't you set their career? Not only that, take this into consideration. You get a transgender girl. You also got somebody who already comes from money, is a multi-millionaire. Daddy is worth I don't know how much money. So, like I say, you got a transgender girl. You bypass all the other black girls. Excuse me. This person also comes from money. So it's not like they actually needed a damn commercial in the first place. So this was all about pushing a certain agenda or whatever. Like, it's like, black girls be damn. You care so much about black girls. You always talk about black girl power, black girls rock, and black girl magic, and this and that. Yet when you had a chance to go ahead and do something for black girls right there, you sat there and you totally ignored all these black girls who could have easily could have been, filling that slot. So what does that say to black girls? Tell me, what does that say to black girls, that you're not beautiful enough that they have to go and get a transgender boy to come up here and replace you? How fair is that? Was this even an open competition? Did they just go ahead and just stick this person in simply because it's Dwayne Wade's son, and you want to go ahead and you want to prove a point? And to get back to what Black Native was saying about Dwayne Wade wearing the dresses and stuff, well, if you look at a lot of these athletes and a lot of these, even these actors and stuff, a bunch of them wear dresses and stuff now, which is surprising. It's not really surprising in Hollywood, but it's nothing to see these basketball players sitting up here wearing a little dress and having a little purse on their hips and whatnot. And it's supposed to be fashionable. And you're like, what in the world is this? Like, like this never, like growing up, you never see nothing like this. I know Black Native was talking about Magic Child and this and that, but I will say this right here: Magic's child, when EJ was underage, Magic wasn't up here doing this like this here. EJ was a grown person. EJ came out and said this, said that, or whatever. I'm sure he already knew, like he said, he already knew he was gay or whatever. But Magic had EJ dressing like a boy. EJ didn't have no weave extension in, and didn't have eyeshadow in when he was 15 and this and that, and long nails and this and that. EJ, when he got older, decided that he wanted to be LGBTQ, which, hey, you can't stop your child from doing that if that's what your child wants to do. But Magic them did not go ahead and co-sign this and like, okay, well, we're going to put you on the dress, and we're going to talk about getting your hormones, and we're going to talk about possibly removing your penis and this and that or whatever. So, Magic, I think, did all he could do, and your child's gonna be what your child wants to be. But that's not even the point. Like, yeah, if your child's grown and your child wants to dress and wear dresses and this and that or whatever, hey, that's what your child wants to do. That's what they want to do. But to sit up here as a parent and go ahead and co-sign some of this stuff is just, You know, I just can't really understand that. But Black Pressure, you got it.
Say, my man, you hit it. You hit a home run when you said when you spoke about that ideology from the '60s, where you saw the feminist movement, and like I say, the white women, their impetus was different than the black woman, but that conditioning. When you say why is this going on? Why are we seeing this? That conditioning, it doesn't happen overnight. That took generations for black women to start. And I won't say all black women accept it, but like me, dealing with the sisters I deal with, a lot of black women are apathetic, towards feminism. Like, oh, I don't feel one way or the other. But if you really peel the layers back and you do a deep dive about, I don't even know what they call it, dude. The Wayne Wade's son is what he is. Like I told you about the household I grew up in, it was masculinity ruled under my roof. Like I said about the conditioning, one of the reasons that men, I'll say black men exist, is to actually be protectors of our community. Like, think about it. My grandfather was masculine. My father was masculine. And I watched both of these men, right? My father taught us, hey, you stand up for your sister. You protect your mom. You don't let nobody mess with them. And when you get older, you see your father he wasn't just teaching me about the women in my household. He was teaching me about the black women in my community and in society. Like me right now, if you could, and I'm sure you guys can YouTube this, you could TikTok it, Facebook, or whatever you want to do. There are countless videos of black women being abused, and you got a bunch of grown niggas standing there with a phone not doing anything. So I superimpose myself the way I was raised and what my grandfather taught me and what my dad taught me. If I ever see anybody in public menacing or harming another black woman, you going to sleep. That's all time. And you might get, it might be more than one, but the first dude I go after, that motherfucker going to sleep where he's staying right there. So what I'm saying is do a deep dive. Think about it. How they're conditioning Dwayne Wade's son. You think a woman gonna run to him in public when he needs protection, and you look at something like that, then you look at me. They're really robbing black women of one more person that could protect them in public. And I'll land my plane there.
All right. DW, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, okay. I'm just coming in, so I don't know what was said. I'm just going by the topic, dressing black boys up like Barbie dolls. Really, I haven't seen that, but I'm quite sure they do. I think a lot of times people not really doing no real parenting like they did back in the day. People allow their kids to do whatever they want to without guidance. And then they wind up getting involved on social media, listen to all the nonsense, watching everything on TV, and that's really almost raising their kids because they're not really teaching them anything. And I think a lot of times these entertainers who have kids, just because it's a father in the home means nothing if you're not spending time with your children. If you're not spending time giving your kids some guidance and teaching them, you're useless. So I think that's what's going on with these entertainers. They're not really spending time with their kids. They just spoiling them, probably giving what they want to, but not really giving no guidance. And that's why I think a lot of people get messed up and confused out here in the real world because they listen to these white people because they messed up in the mind and people start following them. I know the other day I seen a white man in a store because I live in the suburbs. That's how it's bad out here. He was straight up looked like a man, no wig or nothing. Had of a skirt and a blouse and the heels. It just looked disgusting. But that's what they do. These white people is mentally ill, and a lot of people getting to follow them and without sticking to what your belief is. So that's what I think the problem is. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, sister, I know you said you just got into the room, so we was just discussing this topic here, and we was talking about Dwayne Wade's son. His son was named Born Zion, and now goes by the name Zaya, and he's 15, and he recently got this advertisement gig from Tiffany's, the jewelry place, And of course, right now he has his long weave like a girl, and he's all made up like a girl, and this and that. And I know you say you haven't seen that, but yeah, if you look hard enough, it's around. Trust me. And it's not only the boys, but it's a lot of girls as well too. So it's definitely out there. You can definitely see it if you travel to some of these malls and stuff like that, and you know, you probably you may even have more girls dressing up like guys now than the actual guys like girls. But there's a lot of them out there, and you know, Dwayne Wade is basically what he's basically saying is that the son is, you know, he filed the paperwork last month to have his son legally classified as a girl. Because he has custody, he doesn't want the mother to have anything to do with it. Even though the biological mother, gave birth to the child, he says a mother shouldn't have anything to do with it. He wants to see transgender women, quote unquote, compete in competitive sports against females that were born girls. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. They're also talking about, and this hasn't been confirmed, but people are suspecting now. That I just want to put this point out, that this hasn't been confirmed, but people are saying, allegedly, they think that they may possibly be looking into getting hormones for the child, and down the road even doing possible, surgery or whatever. So, and like I say, we're talking like there's a lot of boys and stuff, out there. If a child's gonna be gay, a child's gonna be gay. There's nothing you can do about that. But I also believe in letting the child grow up, and when that child gets to that age legally that he can choose and go out there, and more important, buy his own clothes, his or her own clothes. If you want to dress up like a girl or whatever, and you're a boy and you're 18 and you have the money and the funds like that, because check it, if you're 18 and you still living in my house, you know, you ain't. I mean, if you still living in my house, whether you got the money or not, you're not gonna be dressing up like no girl here now. You're gonna have to move and go to another place. I don't care if you're grown or not. You're not gonna be coming up in my house dressing like that. So that's just my opinion of it or whatever. I know everybody's different or whatever, but if you want to dress a certain way or live a certain way, even grown people, your family tell you, like, when you grown and you go ahead and you hit that door, you can go in and go about your business or whatever. So just this is just a larger issue right here. Like I said, you have a bunch of young black men, that they're putting these images on TV that, hey, it's okay to wear a dress, it's okay to have a purse, it's okay to be ultra feminine and this and that or whatever. So that's just the issue that you have going on and whatnot. So I'll let you go ahead, BW, and go ahead and unmute your mic, and I'm gonna get to Rivera.
To go respond somewhat to that, because it was a show on TV, white people, they always got some sick agenda for people to follow. Where this white family, I think it was Jazz or something, but this young guy wanted to be a girl, and he was in junior high. And I think at that they had moved him on to have, I guess, hormone therapy to turn this child into a woman. I think that's sick myself personally, because the child is still going through changes. They don't know what they want. They're confused. They don't know anything about life. But because this child say, "Oh, I want to do that," I'm like you. Wait till they grow up. If they decide that's what they want to do, then you do that. But I wouldn't allow that in my household. I was raised around a bunch of darn brothers. I didn't turn gay. Well, I could have, I guess, but I had no desire. No, nobody. I never followed anybody. So I don't know what happened, but I didn't follow anybody. I was straight up heterosexual. And nobody, I know this day and time, it's a lot of gay people out here, and there's something going on, because it never been that gay people before. So I really believe in social media and people giving kids phones and stuff ahead of time, and I don't think they should. They're not giving them any true guidance at all. None. They just let them do whatever. They don't want to be bothered with them, so they go tell them to go in a room somewhere, or get on the phone or do whatever. And I don't believe, I'm old fashioned. I don't believe kids need a phone in it. I mean, a television in their room. People don't even know how to put restriction on their kids. They spoil kids these days and just allow them to do whatever. And then they want to get mad when they don't turn out the way they want. But I blame that on them, because they're not giving any guidance. That's all I want to say.
No problem, sister. And I'm gonna just say this part: like, this is not meant to bash gay people or anything, so I don't want anybody to think this is meant to bash gay people, because like I say, I believe that who knows that maybe you've always had this amount of gay people in the world and in this country or whatever, and maybe just at the time they couldn't come out because of the way society was or this and that. Like I said, I'm sure we all know gay people. I'm sure we live next to gay people. I'm sure we got gay people in our family, and we love those people just the same. You know what I'm saying? That's not my issue. My issue is that if you're a damn child and you're a boy or a girl, if you live in, you should at least dress like that until you get to a certain age. And for the parents to sit up here, because I've seen damn shows where you had parents up here with the kids like 5, 6 years old talking about their girl. And this is a lot of white couples and stuff like that. 6-year-old up here saying, "Oh, one day he woke up and my son now he's a girl," and they end up painting up the entire room pink and putting the child on a dress and bows in his head and this and that. I'm like, man, please stop. I don't care if this kid's 6 years old. I don't care if this kid woke up. So this kid woke up and told you that he's a zebra. Are you going to paint him black and white? I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't care if the kid did wake up and said that he wants to be a different sex. You may want to be a different sex, but you're going to be exactly what you came out as. And until you get to the point where you can take care of yourself and live on your own, that's what you're going to be here. End of story. So, like I say, I'm not even trying to bash we're not trying to bash any gay people. So I just want to let that be known. We're not bashing gay people. People have a right to decide and stuff like this and that. But a damn kid does not have the right to tell their parents, or the parents don't have the right to sit up here and just totally, especially if you got another parent too. The other parent, Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, the biological mother, is totally being ignored. He's going up here to the court because he has the prestige, the name, the power, the recognition, the money, and everything else. And he's sitting up and telling the courts that, hey, the woman that gave birth to my son/daughter right here doesn't have any right to sit up here and argue against what I'm trying to do with me and my new wife, his stepmother, trying to do. And, that's just totally not right in my eyes. Like, that woman has just as much right to decide if she wants her child to take on a new name and possibly take hormones and stuff. Who knows 20 years from now the kind of impact that those hormones going to have on that child's organs and health and everything else that they're trying to shove down their mouth right now. So just totally ridiculous here. Just everybody has a right to their opinion, but this is something I just can't go along with. Rivera, go ahead and unmute your mic. But before you go ahead and unmute your mic, make sure you follow the host and the co-host, and also support us on Cash App, $Newstoter. That is $Newstoter. Rivera, go ahead. I'm interested to hear what you got to say. Rivera, you there?
Yeah, his phone a little funny. Give him a second, I guess. Yeah, I was going to say maybe go to Brother Original and then come back to Rivera.
Original, I know you got something to say about this, so go ahead and let us hear your thoughts. Share your thoughts with us about this situation here.
Okay, greeting Newstoter and everybody, peace and reparation. Well, first, Newstoter, I want to say I want to apologize for my explosion last night. But that Shepherd guy, he's like people I've met before, whereby they want to. It's like they caping for white folks, and when you catch them in a lie, first thing they say, "Oh, I didn't say that." So I just want to apologize for that. But I just want to let everybody know this right here is an extension of the eugenics project that they started with Margaret Sanger. Their entire objective is to keep black people on a global scale from reproducing. And that's why, and see, this is why I keep telling people, if we follow the teachings of Malcolm X, he told us, do not allow these entertainers to be your leader. And I'm going to tell you at a later date, but he even called out Dick Gregory. And I'm going to tell you something about Dick Gregory that you may not know. But anyway, it's like when I heard Brother Ray say something about homophobia, the way I had to make corrections on somebody once, they said they used that word homophobia. I said, wait a minute. I said, a phobia is a clinically diagnosed condition. For you to call somebody homophobic, you are calling them crazy. And do you have the wherewithal, the teachings and everything to uh, identify someone as a phobia. I mean, with their phobia, and then they get mad at you. And all I'm saying is that look, nobody. This is not about hating anyone. What this is about is that a certain group of people want to tell the rest of us how we should live, but yet when you tell them how they should live, oh, you have a fight on your hands. But yet they're supposed to be able to tell you how, whatever you should do. And I saw a video of it was a white guy who had gone through this trans procedure and he took all those drugs and everything else. And when he was young, and now he's older, and he said he don't want to do this anymore because for whatever reason, you know, his mind has changed. Because at the end of the day, people are still developing. And when you do this and you get to a certain stage, then all of a sudden you say, "Oh wow, I really made a mistake." And this is why. But at the beginning and ending of each day, this is nothing but another link in that eugenics chain because the main people that they want to not reproduce are black people. Because I mean, for example, when Fannie Lou Hamer was like 12 or 14, they gave her a hysterectomy without her parents or her consent. And when she got married, her and her husband was trying to start a family. So they went to the doctor, and that's when she found out. That, I mean, this is the level of evil that we are dealing with these, with, our, with these white folks. I'm just going to put it out there with these white folks. But that's just how, because see, her, Fannie Lou Hamer's mother, I think she had a lot of children. It was like about maybe 18 or something like that, or maybe may have been a few more. And so uh, their issue was that they didn't want Fannie Lou having children because for whatever reason. Well, we know what the reason is, but I just wanted to say that we need to understand that this is an attack on the entire black family. It really is because I think I mentioned to you about this. It was a documentary that this white lady did years ago, and it's called. It's on this site. Oh God, I can't think. It's called anyway. It's called 81 Words. Um, thisamericanlife.org is the website. And if you go to that site in the search box, you type in 81 words, and it documents how this lady, after her grandmother passed, her grandfather came out as being gay. And so he was a psychiatrist or a psychologist or something like that. So him and his psychiatrist and psychologist friend sat around her kitchen table and they plotted and they schemed and they scammed how they would have homosexuality taken out of the diagnostic and statistical manual. And they were successful in doing so. That wasn't just arbitrarily taken out of that manual, it was a plot to get it taken out. And that's what this is. And that's what this is here. And see, remember when I shared, was it? It was maybe last night or another night, how white people have been trying to place homosexuality in ancient Africa. And see, when you have someone like a Dwayne Wade and his son, they are they are helping them to try to promote that lie because, as I said, Dr. Asa Hilliard from Georgia State University, Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Marimba Yani, and a host of other qualified people who have studied ancient Africa, and they said they did not find anything similar to homosexuality in ancient Africa until the Arabs and then the Europeans invaded. And so that is their objective because, and I'm gonna close with this. I'm not a fan of the History Channel because I've caught them in too many lies. But years ago, someone asked me to watch this documentary on the History Channel, and it was the history of sex. And so they was going through the sexual thing, and they did not get to homosexuality until they got to Europe. So that's this whole thing where people are trying to place this in ancient Africa to try to justify it. And from my perspective, Dwayne Wade Gabrielle Union, who I would never support, they are helping these people to perpetrate that lie, and I'll land on that.
All right, appreciate you as always, original. Before we get to Rivera and Ebony, we're gonna get to you also, Black Pressure. DJ, I know you hadn't had a chance to say anything. You got anything you want to say real quick?
No, let the people flow with the room. Go ahead. I'll always speak. Go ahead.
Hey, News.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, what Original was talking about with Fannie Lou Hamer, that was called the Mississippi appendectomy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was nasty and vile with them white folks who doing it to them black women.
Hey, and don't forget Henrietta Lacks too, for those that know. You know what I mean?
Wait. I have to address something real quick because I see a comment that I do not like. That TS, you said this space is homophobic, transphobic, encouraging hate and discrimination against Black LGBTQ.
There we go.
There's no such thing as homophobic.
Hey, get the Jumbotron, y'all. Get the Jumbotron. Check my pictures out, yo. Fuck with my memes.
Yeah, like I mean, now you to me, you're trying to go ahead and get the space shut down because you're going ahead and you're putting this out here when I have made it clear, and everybody in this space can tell you, I've made it clear that this is not attacking gay people. What this is saying is that kids should not be on hormones, and kids actually should not be, parents shouldn't be up here dressing their kids up as one way when their kids is another way. So to sit up here and saying that we're attacking LGBTQ and trans and this and that or whatever, I kind of have an issue with that. But
hey, News.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. I just wanted to say that's what I was telling you about earlier. Anytime you say anything that that community may disagree with, that's the first thing they do. Oh, this is homophobic. This is that. This is this. This is that. No, we can have different opinions. If everything is homophobic, then nothing is homophobic. And if this space is so homophobic, why are you still seeing your his or her, whatever you want to identify, ass up here? If it's that bad.
Preaching.
But what's going on is, like you said, if they put that type of shit, well, I ain't gonna say shit, but if they put that out there, this space is this homophobic and this, that, and the third, that's how they get the spaces shut down. Like I told you, sometimes you be having trouble in your spaces, and I'm having to yell because I'm sick, so excuse me. So you know how you be having trouble in your spaces is because they go and they say that, spaces like this are promoting child porn and things like that, just all this vile shit to get the spaces shut down because they don't want folks talking about it. And that's what it is. Like I said, the 99% of everyone in this space, we're on the same page. It's that 1% of people in this space that have a problem with it. But they got such a problem, but they won't damn leave. Like I don't get it. Like I'm not gonna go up in a white supremacist space and then complain about them being white supremacists. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what you gotta do. So you can't come in a space with straight people and get mad because we're like, hey, I want my child to grow up and be straight. I want my child, especially if he's male, to be masculine and to marry a black woman and to, have kids. You can't get mad at people for saying that because that's how we feel.
Yeah, and I had to go ahead and remove TS. To me, like I said, that now you're trying to sit up here and trying to blackmail us into letting you talk or whatever, for the simple fact that nobody wants to get the conversation off topic because we know that's what you're gonna do. Come in here and try to make it about yourself. So no, I'm not even trying to hit that tonight. We're gonna go to Rivera, then we're gonna go to Ebony, then we're gonna go back to Black Pressure, and we're gonna go to Queen B. Before we get to you, Rivera, let me go ahead and give a shout out to Aunt Lai. Thank you, Aunt Lai, for supporting us on Cash App. Appreciate it very much. So thank you, Aunt Lai. You got it, Rivera. Rivera, you there? I think Rivera may be having some issues as well too. So Rivera, we're gonna come.
Hey, real quick, I just want to point out: did you see the people that she tagged in her post? She tagged.
I'm coming by in there right now, Ray. But go ahead, brother. I'm already on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, like trying to go ahead. They're trying to go ahead and get the damn space messed up and whatnot up in. I mean, this is just.
Who cares, News? Who cares?
Just so you know, you about to have another. They about to start a whole other space about how homophobic you are. Watch.
Yeah, well, let's not.
Tell them to call me out.
Ray, let's not go ahead and give them more ideas and whatnot. So that's just, if they do it, just do it. But let's not go ahead and put it out there. Like I said, let's not put it out there. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Yeah, my bad, family.
Rivera, you there, Rivera? Rivera. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you a little bit. Go ahead and start talking. We got it.
Okay.
Rivera, I think you may be having some audio issues, so you may have to reconnect and come back into space again, and then we'll come back to you.
I think it's the Bluetooth speaker. I use this.
It's a Bluetooth.
Yeah, if you got Bluetooth connected to your while trying to use the Twitter, it's a connection issue because Twitter needs the actual mic to order the access, the spaces or whatever. So shut your Bluetooth off and just come on your regular phone, bro.
Okay, no, I turned it off.
Oh yeah, sounding nice and clear, bro. Now go ahead.
Okay. Before I lost train of thought, I'm really hoping. Oh, man, I seen this and it reminded me of you got to probably have a whole bunch of people come in, and I'm gonna not preach. I'll go on a tangent. I always say that. Now that I'm parked, I got all my little mind together. I'm gonna go through a couple things. So the APA actually in 1973 or 74, they used to classify homosexuality as a mental illness, and when they got rid of it, now, and that's fine. If you want to label yourself, before I go into this spiel, you want to label yourself gay or trans or whatever else it is, and that's fine. But before that, they labeled it a sexual disorder, and amongst a myriad of other sexual disorders, right? So my thing is, when I made this clubhouse about the LGBTQ. Lord, when are they going to add the P? I had 200-300 people in that room just because of that, the P word, and all of them were from the gay community, and they were extremely upset. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up in the mental illness thing is that now they're claiming that pedophilia is a mental illness. So what's going to eventually happen, and we're talking about Dwayne Wade's son. I don't know if he's 19 yet or 18 yet. We classify an 18 as an adult. But when we're talking about Dwayne Wade's son, the main thing that I had kept saying was the spectrum of sexuality is gender oriented, especially when you're talking about, I want to be gay, I want to be trans. There's a difference between talking about being trans, being gay, when you're just saying I'm a male. The female, that's something totally different. Because you can be a female and still like a female. You can be a male and still like a male. Right? But you're still a male. Whereas if you're gay, that's sexual orientation. You are intentionally going out to you're seeking a man's company. So your 8-year-old son can't be gay. Unless he wants to, fool around with another little boy. Your 8-year-old son can't be trans unless they want to fool around with another little boy. Your daughter, the same thing. There's no way. And this guy, he wanted to argue that what did he call it? He said that it's something. I can't remember the word. He used the term. And I said, well, pedophilia is the same thing. Because he tried to say that someone who's gay doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship with a man and have sex. Same thing with a trans person. This and that. But these pedophiles, like Jared Fogle and all of them, they download porn, never touch a kid. These guys that get caught never touch a child. Never. It's the fantasy. They even say that I've never, done it, and they can't prove that they've done anything. So it's the same thing. It's all sexuality. Now what's going to eventually happen is, and I see it happening with all this shit. And the other thing that really scares me is I've got an 11-year-old daughter, and I remember she was probably 7 years old, and I'm gonna land with this. And this topic really aggravates the shit out of me. And I don't give a fuck about T.S. Gorilla and its feelings. That nigga can take one to the back burner. You a grown ass man, dog. Y'all pissing me off. But the problem I'm having is I got a 7-year-old daughter, and I remember, she liked YouTube. She liked the child's portion of YouTube. And that's about as much as we would let her watch. 7, 8 years old. And there was a young lady that had her own YouTube page. This is pre, them getting everything off of her. And this young lady was a gymnast. Now, Faith wanted to get some sort of gymnastic thing, and I didn't want to. I told her actually, if you do that, you got to do some sort of martial art, as far as getting some sort of discipline. But that's neither here nor there. So, anyways, this young lady, she does gymnastics, and she had been watching this young girl for, I don't know, maybe a year or so, and I didn't really pay attention to her. She would watch that and watch the little Caillou, and there's another thing that would come on. I can't remember what it was. And I remember not even paying attention to what she was really watching, and there was nothing wrong with it. There wasn't anything sick about it. She was explaining how to do certain like gymnastic moves and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I put it on my TV and I had my controller. I'm going through the comments, and it's these sick fucking comments that are all the way at the top that have likes. Grown men talking about, can you bend over this way? This is a fucking 7-year-old girl. She's the same age as my fucking daughter, man. I'm sorry, dog. Like I said, and I know that we're not focusing on this like that because we got brothers like Marcel Dixon who are black first. Man's sexuality ain't got nothing to do with him being a sword in our community. And he explains that. We got people in our family that we, like Newstoter said, that are gay, that are swords in our community. But this whole putting this weird agenda shit first and sexualizing children and all that shit, this is getting a little out of hand, man. And it's going to progressively get worse until we get really pissed off about it. And that's all I got to say.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Ebony, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. I wasn't saying anything. Okay,
check,
yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check.
Okay, DJ. All right. Yeah. Original. You really just laid it all out there. You said some of my same sentiments. It don't make any sense. And and I'm just more or less disappointed in us as a people. The things we keep saying. Well, I don't want. Some things. You might really think it, but you shouldn't say it. I don't care what they do in it. Yeah. And as far as Marcel, hey, nobody can love Marcel more than me, but I don't care. I still feel like it's wrong. It's wrong. They don't have anything, and it's like if I have family members like that, I don't care. I say it's wrong, but that don't mean I don't love you. I'll put it out there like that. So I'm just disappointed in sometimes in some of the things we say, and that's never good at any age. When they get out, they in your home, and when they leave, you can say it's your opinion, but it's still wrong. So how are we gonna? It's just say every man or every woman decide to do that. How are we gonna procreate, keep the race on, keep our population going? How? We can't go there. We can't start just accepting it. That's how things get out of hand. Get started. Just a little bit. We want to accept this. We want to keep on accepting these type of things, and it's just wrong. I know some of it, like some of the things I think that may be causing it is like probably social media and the things that we let these sick people teach our children at these schools, and also I even heard like at some of the foods we may be eating, because it was all in the plan of years ago. So yeah, and have you guys heard? I've heard of this movie they're making called Bros. It's two. They had it too, and it's about homosexuality, and they're gonna start. It's just getting out of hand. Not just black people in America, it's out of control. That's why you can tell somebody like T.S. Giselle come in here and try to take over. See, we always have to. Why do we always have to defend opposition when you told her he clearly said he wasn't trying to, offend people that was homosexual or whatever he said. And I understood it, and probably everybody in this room understood it. They always want to try to control what we say, but we can't say anything about them. Nothing. Unless they get offended and go try to say we're homophobia, which what we say there's no such word anyway. I mean, they define that. That's not what we are trying to do. There is no such thing as no homophobia when it comes to the way they want to use it. No such thing. So that's all. That's all I need to say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sister. And TS is just upset because, like I say, we weren't going to let TS get on the mic to derail the conversation and make it all about TS, which normally happens in these spaces. When TS comes in here, we have a topic, and everybody in the room, we have to start focusing on TS, and people, they're going back and forth and this and that, and we already know what your opinion is. Like, if you came in here and you actually going to argue your point of view or whatever, I wouldn't have an issue with you actually getting on the microphone or whatever, because like I say, I do like having 2 points of views and stuff, different points of views. I mean, but when the person that's coming in here totally just wants to cause chaos and hell or whatever, then, what's the point of even coming into space? Like Ray said, the space is this and that, label it all kind of homophobic, transphobic, against LGBTQ. So if you felt that way, because if I went into an anti-black space and I felt that it was racist and white supremacist and it was just downing black people, this and that, I'm not going to constantly keep requesting to get the mic and coming into space and sitting there for 20, 30 minutes or whatever. I'm going to go ahead when I see the title, be like, oh, it's not the place for me to be at. Let me go someplace else. So all this other nonsense that TS was saying is just nonsense. And like I said before, I made it abundantly clear multiple times, like, this is not about going against LGBTQ. That has nothing to do with it. This is about kids and stuff that's underage dressing up and trying to be something that they're not. I mean, if you're born a girl, then you're a girl. Whether you may feel like you're something inside or whatever, and your parents will sit along and go along with that nonsense. They're the ones that really have the issue right here in themselves, to sit up here and allow and go off the whim of some kid or whatever to tell you that they're gonna do this and that, because Dwayne Wade's son and tens of thousands of other kids out there, they can't do any more than what their parents allow them to do. They're not going out there buying their clothes. They're not going out there buying the makeup, or if you're a girl, they're not going out there trying to. All this stuff comes strictly because their parents allow it. If their parents put their foot down and didn't allow it, those kids would have nothing else to do but to dress and wear clothes exactly what their parents bought. So it's the parents that's actually doing it. The parents actually believe that they should go ahead and they should do that. The parents are the ones that's supporting it. The parents are the ones that's pushing it. So it's really the parents that's really the ones that's really the issue. Like I said, when the kid becomes grown and the kid wants to do what he want to do, then hey, you're grown, you got your own place, you got your own money. By all means, do what you want to do. I'm not going to agree with it, but hey, I can't stop you. But if you are underage and you live in the house, and I'm paying your insurance, and I'm paying all the bills in the house, and this and that, and I'm responsible for feeding and clothing you, and yeah, you're going to wear exactly what I say now. I mean, I'm not going to go out there, and you're a boy, you're my son, I'm not going to go out there and buy you a tennis skirt. I don't care who likes it. So, yeah. Queen B, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister, and we're going to get the black pressure.
Yes, thank you for giving me the stage again. I was thinking about, I had gone to a diversity conference a couple of years ago. I'm an HR professional, so I went to this diversity conference up in Minneapolis a few years ago. And one of the presenters at that conference was telling us, I don't remember, but I think she identified as straight, but she showed us a slide of her family, and her husband, she said, was transitioning. And then she had these 2 little kids. One of them was a daughter, and she said that the daughter was queer. And the daughter was like 4 or 5 years old. And so, she went on with her presentation and talked about it. And I kind of thought to myself, well, I don't, at the time, it's like, I really don't know a whole bunch about a lot of this stuff, but am I the only one that thinks that there's something odd about this? Nobody said anything. I mean, kind of went to some people afterwards and just kind of said, well, did you really understand what she was talking about? And, and people that I had talked to said, not really. And I just wanted to say that to say, I think that's where we as a society, where there's a breakdown, because we don't have enough people really speaking up about it or speaking out about it, that it's allowed this agenda to progress the way that it has. So much so that there's a form of intimidation, just like what's going on with your room right now, Newstoter. It's like if you even dare say anything, then there's a threat that, people are losing their jobs, losing their retirement, and all kinds of things over speaking out, against this movement. So, and I know that's not what we're doing here. We're just talking about, about Dwayne Wade's child and what's going on with this person at such a young age. But it did remind me, as the conversation progressed here tonight, of that woman that spoke and actually had labeled her 4 or 5 year old child queer at the time. And I thought that, wow. So yeah, so just, and then kind of going back to what Ray said, we gotta start talking to our kids. And I think when we don't say anything, that's just causing the situation to get worse. And we as a community, as a Black community, need to come out and start speaking against this and being more vocal so that it doesn't get any worse. I'll land. Thank you.
And see, the reason people can't really say anything about it, because like I think about even on these social media channels and stuff like that. If you and if you in a lot of these Facebook groups and stuff like that, the way Facebook has the actual they have things set up and whatnot, just automated, that certain words and stuff like that catches the attention and can get you banned and kicked off and this and that. So you have so many of these admins of these Facebook groups and things like that of that nature. If you just sit up here and you say, well, this is nonsense. Like if somebody was actually saying this is nonsense about Dwayne Wade's son, the first thing you have is people coming to the rescue. Say, oh, well, you're being a homophobic, you're being transphobic, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're a bigot, and you're all kind of different things like that. So this is just on social media. So if you're at work in places like that, you better not say anything about that. You better not. You just better go ahead and, if you're going to say something, moan it underneath your breath. Because really, you have no leg to stand on anymore. As Black people, that's what I was saying since the late '60s. Everything, your struggle has been tied to everybody else struggling in this country. You can't sit up here and you can't say anything about anyone, but everybody can say something about you. Now I read another comment that TS left top of that we're promoting violence and hate in this, and I mean harassment and this and that. Not one person in here said anything violent about somebody that's a trans or LGBTQ or whatever, but it's stuff like that gets people in trouble. Somebody sitting up there and deliberately saying that you're promoting violence against people like that. Not one time as a host did I say anything violent about anyone. Neither did the co-host. Neither did any of the speakers say anything about anything, any kind of violent nature. But to go ahead and leave a comment like that on Twitter and hoping that the right person sees it so they can go ahead and start striking and giving strikes against against the Newstoter page and whatnot. It's exactly what the kind of crap that people pull and stuff like that. So that's why so many of our people sit up here and they don't say anything, because for one, our people that's in power, that's on TV and stuff like that, they go along with it. Black people been going along with this stuff, really, really, really been going along with it strong since the 70s, and then it just exploded in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. That, hey, if you don't sit up here and you don't say this and this and that, and you're some kind of bigot or whatever, even though it makes absolutely no sense what people are saying. But you somehow got to sit up here and you have to go along with it. So, I mean, just as a person, I don't care. I'm not going to sit up here and go along with it. To me, if you're born one thing, you are that. Now, I can understand somebody that's a hermaphrodite that has two sexual organs or something like that. I can understand the confusion for that person. I know even though they got it at birth, they're going to go ahead and they can decide for that child. I can still see the confusion for that. But for anybody else, that's sitting up here saying that they one thing or another, and that's another thing. We have to stop saying that because I don't consider LGBTQ people in the same predicament of this and that. Like, whether you agree with their lifestyle or not, I don't consider that the same, because there's plenty LGBTQ men out here know that they're the men. Plenty LGBTQ women out here know that they're women. You know, they're not sitting up here saying, "Well, you know, really, I'm really a girl. I'm really a boy." They know exactly what they are. So this here in itself is entirely different. And like I say, and my main thing that this was about is the way that they're dressing up boys, the way that they're making this fashionable for black boys, and the fact that they put a celebrity's child up there, somebody who's been in the news for the past 2-3 years, pushing it and whatnot. Since he was 11 years old, they're sitting up there talking about he knew he was a girl. And every time they get a chance to put a camera in his mic, a camera in his face, where you had Gail King, or he's on the Ellen Show, or this or that, they go ahead and they stick it up there. Now they're going to go ahead and they're going to put him on national TV. Tiffany is pushing dollars behind it. So you're gonna be sitting on your TV. You're gonna be seeing this black boy with hair down to his shoulders and whatnot, talking about he's a girl or whatever. And you know, and if you go ahead and even your kids, if you have kids, I have kids and stuff like that. They ask questions and stuff like that, and then you have to explain this kind of stuff to them. Back in the day, you know, you didn't have to explain this stuff because this kind of stuff wasn't happening, but you have to explain that to them now. So to sit up here and just go along with this stuff is just really, to me, just really idiotic. It doesn't do the black race any good. It causes confusion. You got kids up here asking, well, what's wrong? Well, what's wrong with a boy wanting to be a girl? What's wrong with a boy putting on a dress? What's wrong with a boy putting on high heels? You know, so it's just, like I said, I just really don't understand. Well, I do understand it because, like I say, it's been an agenda that's been pushed since the late 60s. You had shows in the early 70s and stuff like that, like Maude and stuff, the ultimate liberal feminists and stuff like that, tying all this stuff. And I can remember being in middle school and going to school, and you had some white kids out there, and they, at the time, they was talking about the do. At the time, this was a hot button issue. It was I think it was in the military, the do not tell. And you had white kids up here telling us that you know, being gay and stuff was the same thing as being black. White kids telling us that what it is to be black, not having a damn idea what it is to be black. But they gonna sit up here and tell you that them discriminating against going into the military is the same thing as being black. Okay. So this is just how this is. Like I say, and over time, we just sit here and we let this stuff, and we keep letting it ride and ride and ride and ride and ride and go until you start really getting a mole out into a mountain hill. So this is where we're at now, and in 10, 20 years from now, it's going to be even worse. You can imagine. Right now, you got to worry about with this whole transgender stuff. You got to worry about the bathrooms and stuff now. So I mean, if Dwayne Wade's son or another transgender woman, so to speak, goes into the bathroom with your daughter, a niece, or sister, or whoever, is that okay? Is that cool? I mean, come on. When does enough get to be enough here? Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic, brother.
Hey, News, think about that person, T.S. Gorilla. You think about it, where you said there that he's, you know, sending these comments out or his tweets out and lying on us. You talking about a man who lies to himself every day he looks in the mirror. You think he'll for 1 second hesitate to tell a lie on us? And two, when you go report this space to Twitter, you know what you're doing. You run into them white folks and telling on black people. Like I say, that's another space for another day. But I know a few of the black family in here, you know, has made the comment like, when you grown and you get out of my house, you know, you can live how you want to live. But I remember this, my grandmother and my father telling me, like, look, man, you still have our last name. When you go out in public, you're a representative of this family. And, you know, it would be like me and my brother, the way we took it, I couldn't go out there and sell dope. I couldn't go out there and have 8 kids for 8 different women. I couldn't go out there with a wig and a skirt on with high heels because that would shame my family. So the way I grew up, even I tell my son, he's 21. I was like, son, like, and he lives on his own, you know, has a good job and all that. I was like, son, you still have my last name. Even when you're grown and you could go out and do what you want, do not disrespect the family and do not disrespect our last name. So that pretty much keeps me out of a dress and a wig and high heels. But, you know, I'll land my plane right there.
Hey, News, I just had a quick question because since TS can go in our spaces, well, your space, and say, hey, this person is transphobic because I disagree with them. Is there a way for us to counter that? There's got to be a way to counter that and say, no, this person is intentionally trying to get our space shut down because we have a disagreement, and they're lying. They're straight up lying and lying on them because no one in here is being homophobic. We're not.
Ray, if
she blocked? Why isn't she blocked?
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to just go ahead and do that, because, like I said, I've never, as much issues as I had with TS. I've kicked TS out of spots before and stuff like that, but never got to the point where TS was sitting up here saying that the space was homophobic, transphobic, violent towards people, and this and that right there. So that in itself, to me, is something that, like, I'm gonna just go ahead and just have to block it, because if you're doing that, like I said, you're really trying your best to go ahead and trying to shut down the actual Newstoter page on Twitter or whatever, because that's a damn lie. Nobody sat up here and said anything of that nature about anybody, about violence. I never heard one person here talk about getting something and going after somebody or doing something to somebody. So just back to your question, Ray, if it is an option that you can do something like that, I don't really know. I can't say for certain. I don't know. How Twitter and stuff is, like, this thing is so automated. So, I don't even know who you would contact or whatever, this and that. But a lot of times when people go ahead and start reporting stuff like that, the damage is already done. So, I don't really know exactly what you could do. But we may have just, like, because a lot of times me and DJ just laugh at damn TS, to be honest. Like, we laugh at TS and pick at TS and just like, okay, whatever. Like, we don't really, Ray, we don't even pay TS no mind. Like, I know a lot of the women in the space just get upset.
But the thing is, like you said, she's trying to get your shit shut down all because she has a disagreement with you. Like I told you, that's their only card. If you say something like, "Yeah, I don't want my child cutting his penis off," oh, well, you're homophobic. No, I'm not homophobic just because I don't want my son to get his damn dick cut off. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, like I said, 99% of everyone in this space agrees with each other. We know that, this is kind of janky logic that you're trying to use. But, like I said, they're using the civil rights laws that black people fought for against us.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I mean, everybody in this country is using the civil rights that we died for. Like, so LGBTQ minorities, white women, everybody in this country is benefiting from what black people actually suffered for. So we definitely, and like I say, after this space here, I'm definitely gonna probably just go ahead and block TS, so I don't even have to hear this anymore. Like I said, we try to be decent and let people come up. Everybody knows that we try to have an open platform. I stopped letting TS come up here because, like I said, the room started getting out of control, and TS just sits up here and wants to just, this ain't your OnlyFans shit right here, okay? If you want to go ahead and try to solicit customers, you in the wrong place. Up here, we're trying to, share knowledge and whatnot. So nobody wants this. This isn't about you. So don't come in here trying to make everything simply about you and this and that. If I felt that TS could contribute to the conversation tonight, I would allow TS to go ahead and get on the mic with no problem. But to sit up here and just, just wild out and whatnot, nobody's trying to hear all of that. So let me say, I see we have a new person in the house. We're going to get to our speakers, but Leonard, I don't think I've ever seen you in space. Would you like to say something?
Hi, yeah, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, cool. Nah, so, okay, so, well, I rarely use spaces, from London, and I live in Amsterdam. I just saw this space, and I just thought if it was okay, I just wanted to share some stuff, because in Europe, it's literally the same thing. Like, the agenda is real. Even like, I would even say, I would go as far as even trying to like date out here. Like, every girl I've been with is like, oh, how come you're not gender fluid? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, yo, like, it's cool. Like, it's not my thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just wanted to say, like, I appreciate the space you have. And just so you know, over here in Europe and in London, it's the same thing. Like, it's something that's actually quite prevalent, and unfortunately the kids are not protected. So it's all there in entertainment. I think some lady mentioned it. It's also in the food, but mainly I would say the ball rests with the parents, man. Like, because in schools, this is what they teach them: cartoons. This is what they learn. I don't know if you know was it the Buzz Lightyear film? where they had to ban it in the Middle East because of I think they had like a kiss scene or something. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't actually hear about that, but it's not really surprising. And we know Europe for a long time has been really, really open with all that stuff. So it's not really not surprising at all.
Yeah, no, it's crazy in Europe. And just for the record, look, I don't hate anyone, man. We all have family that have different orientation. Look, they celebrate gay pride here in Amsterdam. I've attended it with some friends. I don't care. It's cool. I'm secure with who I am. I'm not promoting hate. I just know that it's not for me. And if there is meant to be a black community, it would not exist if this stuff is not addressed correctly. Because in the long run, it's all about cutting the numbers. So if we're not having these kids who can still procreate and carry on the stuff we're meant to teach them, then that's the end game. So that's all I wanted to say. And yeah, thank you very much for the space and for letting me talk. So I wish you guys all the best.
No problem, Leonard. Make sure you follow Newstoter, the largest curator of black news today in America. So if you definitely want to just see what's going on in America, stay up to date. I know you're over there in Europe. Go ahead and follow Newstoter. Make sure you click on the notifications, and we put out quite a bit of content. So you'll definitely stay up to date what's going on over here in America. So definitely appreciate you chiming in.
Thank you.
Bro, no problem. I also want to give a shout out to Arena. Thank you, Arena, for your contribution on Cash App. Let's go ahead, BW. I know you haven't.
Guys, Leonard, a question real quick, or just ask him this. Hey,
go ahead. I know you hadn't said nothing, so go ahead, man.
No. I'm just letting the room flow or whatever. So, hey, Leonard, since you over there in Europe, you know about the island of Lesbos?
Yeah, what was that like? I've heard about it, but I don't want to start talking like I know it.
Well, yeah, just for context purposes, is basically, European women got tired of European men doing whatever they was doing. You know what I mean? And these warrior women, quote unquote, fought against these men and wound up going to like a peninsula type island, and it was called the Isle of Lesbos. Look it up, bro.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate it.
And that's basically the Wonder Woman scenario where, I forgot what was the name of Wonder Woman's home. Whatever the name of the home was, that's basically what they based Wonder Woman.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. We call that duality, bro. See that?
Okay. Now I'll check it out, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'll definitely check it out for sure. The war in Europe is real, man. That's all I have to say, man. Like it's nearly impossible. Like, I mean, I don't want to deviate too far, but even when you try and date someone out here, I'm telling you, once they find out you're not on that, you're literally like, you're just excommunicated, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, thank you for the space. I'll check out the news. Thank you.
No problem, man. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
You guys also make sure that you follow the host and the co-host as well. Make sure you follow the host and the co-host. Let me go ahead and BW, let me go ahead and kick it to you real quick.
Okay. Some of this stuff I blame on the parents because they just allow their kids to do whatever with no sense of direction. Because we need to stop following these white people. For instance, they have classes in school with these gay people or transgender, whatever they are, teaching classes with kids about being gay. People need to be outraged over that because that's our problem. We sit there and allow these people to do whatever they want to around our children and don't say anything. Another thing, BET, we should have been outraged over that when they, what's that man, that young guy, what's his name? The Kisser guy or something, had a dress, whatever his name. I forgot.
Talk about Lil Nas X.
Yeah, him, right?
Yeah, that's him.
I think you're talking about outrage. You sure you ain't talking about Billy Porter or whatever his name is?
She probably talking about I think she talking about Lil Nas X since he's younger.
Lil Nas X, yes, that's him. Okay. We should have been outraged over that. And we should have really boycotted that show. We allow people to do stuff and don't speak up. And that's why everything continued. We just got to stop it. And I think a lot of us just follow the norm. We need to stop doing that. Stop following this sickness these white people pushing upon us. And that's all I want to say.
Appreciate you, sister. Appreciate you as always. We're gonna go ahead and go to original, and then we're gonna go to Ebony again. So original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, appreciate it. What I want to say, Newstoter, is this: when I what you said that this TS whatever is doing. This one office I worked in here in Atlanta, and this white guy, they was talking, and he said that they would go after like these white churches. That's why a lot of these white churches stopped. Some of them they got rid of their 501c. Excuse me, but some of them that where they had like an outspoken person, they would go after them through the federal government with that 501c3, and that's why some churches just say, fuck 501c. I'll just be on my own because they want to be able to speak without anyone trying to control what they do. If they got to pay taxes, they'll pay taxes and whatever, whatever. But that it seems to be what that TS person is trying to do by putting those messages in there, trying to scare someone, thinking that they're going to force their way into something where it's them with it's them with the issue, not anybody issues. And when I look at it, if you look at and you know something's wrong because ever since when I've seen like all these morning like the morning news show that come on like at 7 a.m. on ABC, NBC, and whatever ABC, NBC, and CBS, they all have these black hosts of these shows. And again, like I said, this is all about promoting the eugenics. And all of them, they promote this this trans thing and everything else. And so I'm like, and so white people don't let black folks into things like this without knowing that they are going to promote their agenda. And you got, I forget who's the one on ABC. I think you got that Oprah's friends on CBS, and this other lady's on NBC. But it's like, okay, when I'm looking at this, I said there's something strange. And then you got on this one show, what's that little show? The entertainment show. You got a black guy and a and a black sister on there, but but again, it's like, why are they putting all these black people in these positions? It is because they are going to promote their agenda, and that's it. And so, and it's like when who that somebody said something about they were saying that being gay is like being black. Well, let me tell you, somebody tried that with me here in Atlanta, and I had to make corrections on them. I said, wait a minute, um, are you aware that black men were raped during slavery? And I said, now who do you think raped them? And so, and then I had that book, um, The Delectable Negro, where it documented how black men had been raped in slavery. They didn't have anything else to say. And see, that's the one thing that we're going to have to do is begin to arm ourselves with as much information as possible, so that when these things go down, like when people say that homophobic stuff, I say, are you a clinical psychiatrist? Can you diagnose someone with a phobia? If you're not a clinical psychiatrist, how can you say someone is homophobic? It's just stuff like that that you start doing, and and just letting them see that no, I'm not I'm not against you. I don't hate you, but I'm not going to let you force yourself onto me. You know, you don't have that. You don't have the right to do that. So I just want to say that because I think um, a lot of stuff is being said. Oh, and one other thing about how what somebody cited something about what was going on in the schools, and they're allowing these people to see what they want to do is this. They want to teach young children that this is acceptable. But if you are the parent, then you arm your child at home and let your child know when this topic comes up at school, don't be excited. Just speak calmly and speak rationally and say, well, from what I've learned, just say from what I've learned in my community education classes, This is not right. See, we got to plant those seeds in these children, and whether they get it they can use the word community, whether you teach them at home, just say a community class, because these people, they are off the chain. They are trying to do whatever they can to disrupt the procreation and the progression of the descendants of the black enslaved. That is of black people, period. That's their main objective. So it's like we have to start arming these young people in the home. If it's at a community uh, 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 community status or whatever. But yeah, if we did that, when these topics come up, that's how I told someone, that's how you put Black history in school. You put it in your children and let your children take it to school. And I'll land on that.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Ebony, go ahead and unmute your mic, and DJ, hold it down for 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk on kind of like on what you were saying, Newstoter, he's gone, I guess. But yeah, he was talking about.
No, he listening to it. He just got to go do what he got to do.
No, it's okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it started back like in the, and it didn't even dawn on me. I mean, I guess, we just thought it was something to laugh about, but way back in, you guys may not even be older than some of you, I guess. Some of you probably are. Older, remember, like, Flip Wilson? Remember when he used to dress like a woman?
Geraldine.
We thought it was so hilarious, we didn't even think about what they were doing. And then, like, you go back to what's happening now. I was looking at those old series, just something to laugh about, because we talk about depressing things on here all the time, so I wanted to laugh, So I go watching them, what's happening, and Rerun. I never saw Rerun dress up all the way like a woman, but I saw Dwayne. I don't know if you guys remember that program back in the, what was that, 80s, 70s? I don't know when it was on, but they had everyone, all these black guys. They was dressing up like, I say, even what's the smart one that wore the glasses? He was dressed. I said, it just, you got an epiphany. You saw, oh, this is what they're doing. They're making all these black men dress up like women. I mean, you go back, and then you go all the way up to Tyler Perry, dressing up like a woman. All of these people. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Michael J. White. I think that's his name. He said how they I think it was on Vlad. I know you guys know about Vlad on he did on the YouTube stuff. He said that they, wanted him to dress up like that. He just refused. That's why he didn't get the roles. How I heard another black comedian say they tried to make him dress up like a woman, but they wouldn't, they wouldn't have they would never get as popular or famous like Dave Chappelle or anything, because they didn't do what they wanted them to do, dress up like a female. So yeah, and when he refused that, like Michael J. White, he said no, they would never give him in the roles he wanted because of that. And as for you, Leonard, I did hear about and probably some other people here too, about the Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, that was a big thing. Disney, yeah, they don't wanted some kind of homosexuality stuff. Yeah, that was.
There was a kiss scene. Yeah, I couldn't take my nephew to see it. I mean, one thing I would say, not to bring too religion into this, but that's one thing about the other side in the East, where they don't play games. Like they don't care about the money. Like they cut the films from the cinema ASAP. And that's something we perhaps have to do. If we don't put our money to where these people are, they'll probably respect us more. But maybe that's for another conversation, I guess.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed about America. It's like, dang, I'm just embarrassed. So,
it's a global thing. It's a global thing. It's all over the world.
I'm just embarrassed, but that's all I can have to say.
I'm sorry, I missed that part. It sounded like y'all had a pretty good little dialogue going on there, so I'm definitely sorry that I missed that part right there that you guys was talking about. Anybody else? Ray, I know DJ, you really hadn't heard from you that much tonight, but I know you got something to say about this situation here.
No, not really, man. But I guess I'll say this, just speaking on my own family or whatever the case be. I got a cuz, love him, he out in the world like that, not a TS though, but he gay boy, you know what I mean? But I used to tell my cousin, his mother, hey, yo, Go let that boy play in the dirt and be a boy. You feel what I'm saying? Go let him get roughed up with the other little boys and shit. Get some scrubs on him and come back. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I can't do that. He get dirty all it. But that's what he's supposed to do, and that's what he want to do. He's telling you that's what he want to do. But you withheld him from doing that, and look how he kind of turned out. You know what I'm saying? You know, rebellious as fuck. You know, rolling with the other side. You know what I'm saying? Hate to say it like that. You know what I mean? But I had a gay aunt that just recently passed away. Didn't love her any less. I got other gay cousins. I don't love them any less. That's their lifestyle. They know how I feel about it. You know what I mean? Other family feel about it, but it's not that they don't pull up to the family functions. They pull up with they loved ones, and we all embrace them. So it is what it is. But when you got the TSs of the world is just gonna sit up and lie on you, hey, you know, you being you being homophobic and all this other stuff, man. If you don't get the hell up out of here, man, I'll send one of my gay cousins to smack you. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like I say, everybody, if you, and I don't know if it's a family in this world that don't have a gay person in it. Like, just real talk. There's not a family on earth that doesn't have at least one gay person in that family. Every neighborhood, every community has a gay person in it. Pretty much, and we know every black church got a gay person in it. So to sit up here and act like that, I never had any issues with gay people, this and that. Just naturally, people want their kids to do a certain way or behave a certain way. There's no issues with that. Like I said, so, and I don't have any issues. With grown people that they say they want to sit up there and dress like this or do that or whatever. That's on you. You grown, but the kids, that's a whole nother issue. So that's what my issue comes up with it. And like I say, I think that they were using Dwayne Wade for clout, and I think Dwayne Wade, doesn't mind putting his kid out there either. Like, I mean, he sees no problem with it. And I think I was talking to somebody earlier. I'm like, well, hey, it's his child. If that's what he wants to do, you can't stop somebody. They're raising their kid. That's what they want to do or whatever. But at the same time, man, don't get on social media and talk about people and saying nasty comments about your child and this and that or whatever, because for every compliment that your child's going to receive of how brave and how beautiful he is, it's going to be another side of that. There's going to be some people sitting up here scratching their head talking about what are we talking about right here. So, man, I don't fault the child for that at all. I don't fault that kid for one bit. I believe that kid has been having some backing and some pushing to go out there and do this exactly like what he's doing. DJ, I see you got your hand back up.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Brother Lennon said, my childhood been ruined too with these damn cartoons. Voltron, G.I. Joe, man, all the great shit, like all the stuff that made me into a man. Ooh, know what I'm saying? Get fucked up around here, but now when I watch the new ones, they kissing other niggas. Like, what's going on? I'm not playing on your team like that. Like, what the fuck?
No, they ruined it. My Marvel,
messing up your childhood memories, huh?
I don't even. Oh man, it's over, yo. It's over, yo. And look, the new Voltron they came out with. That shit is like 8 seasons. I'm a big anime fan. If video games, then I'm a big kid or whatever, right? So the new season they got, man, I was really digging this shit. Like, I'm just like the 5th season. Oh shit, 6th season come along. Man, they got Hump Cancer Lance and shit. Oh, that never happened when I was 8. Oh, what happened?
Even though they had a new Voltron, man.
Right, how's Pidge a little girl? When Pidge was a boy, I thought. Or maybe I always thought Pidge was a girl, but...
No, Pidge was a boy.
Right. See what I'm saying? I'm confused now. You see what I'm saying? That's fucked up. I'm 42 years old. I'm confused about what a cartoon I saw 30 years ago. This shit ain't right, yo. Oh, man. I get it, man.
Hey, DJ, they're doing the same thing with the Proud Family. I don't know if y'all seen that, but they've reinvented the Proud Family. Like that,
man.
It came out or whatever. And they did the same thing with the Rugrats. If y'all grew up watching the Rugrats, y'all know that Bill and Lil's mom was like, she was straight, but like now she's like all the way out,
Oh,
so,
yeah, they pretty much
not the Rugrat gang. Damn, son, no.
they pretty much doing that. They pretty much doing that with all the cartoons nowadays. So you definitely have to watch out and see what your kids watching now, because they definitely
indeed.
I'm gonna smoke one joint tonight. Now I gotta roll up a whole bunch of weed. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just gonna say that because I mean, really think about it.
Oh
You're trying to
man,
make
no,
cartoons,
just watch what your be careful. Just watch what
your
your kids watch, man. I guess that's the best you can do at first. I guess, but yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Leonard, let me ask you a question since you over there in the UK and whatnot.
Well, I'm in Amsterdam now, but I'm from.
Okay. Amsterdam. I'm sorry about that, but over there in New York, do you see a bunch of like kids and stuff like kind of cross dressing and trans and that type of stuff going on over there as well?
Yeah, I mean, so in England, I can't really speak because I left London a few years ago. I still go back to visit, but it's not the same. But here in Europe, it's over. Like it's basically over. Like parents take their kids to drag shows. It's over. Like it's over. Like I came out here thinking, let me just spend some time in Europe and maybe see what happens next. But in terms of starting a family as a single man, it's over. Like for me personally, like it's that I can't take the risk. Like it's not happening. Like so, yeah, they've got them bad here, man. Like they've really got them bad here, and I don't know, even if you look at the little words like, or little, I don't know, like charities where they say, oh, we're taking care of, like if you realize even now boys are being excluded. I mean, it's not a bad thing to, I guess, push kids like forward and stuff. But if you really look at the wording, like there's no, like they really exclude the boys as well. And then I think the plan is just to have them emasculated, man. So it's crazy. Like it's just weird. But yeah, in Europe, it's definitely prevalent. 100%. 100%.
Hey, I know, like back in the, I know back in the day they always said like Europe in terms of the sex that was out there was much further along than America. Like your commercials and stuff, I heard like they had naked people on the commercials and
in Germany it's like that. To be fair, same in England. Like some of our newspapers have like naked women on like the front page or page 3. Like sex here is a bit. So obviously, unfortunately, the kids were just like setting targets. Like it's been planned for a while, like someone said, I guess, on the panel. But yeah, over here it's gone quite far. Like look, gay pride is not, look, I'm not gonna knock it. Like I said, I've attended it in Amsterdam. It's quite a big party, but you could tell over the years like it's different now. Like look, they take kids to these shows, and yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I think the only way is just to, I don't know, I'm not saying each to their own, but for me, I'd rather just leave the West, man. Like if I was gonna have a family, I'm not doing it out here. Like it's just not happening. So yeah.
Okay,
hey, I was gonna ask him real quick, Leonard. Have you heard about them? I've heard, it's just a rumor.
Sorry?
That in Europe, I've just heard in Europe that they're actually trying to take gender off of the birth certificate. Have you heard that?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I think the reception's a bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us, Leonard?
Oh no, I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm gonna go downstairs for a sec. But yeah, sorry.
No, I've heard that in Europe they're actually trying to remove the gender from the birth certificates. Have you heard that rumor?
Snap! I can't hear anything.
Okay, can you hear me, Leonard?
I can hear you now.
Okay, let me ask him, Ray. He's saying that he heard in Europe that they're trying to take the actual genders off the birth certificates.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're trying to make it on the passports as well.
What in the world? So they're gonna have birth certificates with no gender on it?
Yeah, and on the passport.
It's getting crazy out here, man. I tell you, I stay watching the news, bro. It shit is getting crazy out here. Because like you, Leonard, I live in.
Honestly, it's like the end of the world, man. Like this, because I grew up in the 80s, man. Like I didn't think life would be like this. Like, but what I'm witnessing now is like the end of the world.
Because just like you, I lived in Europe myself. I lived in Europe for 3 years. I lived in Italy. But it was different when I used to live in Italy because, that's just like Italian culture to see men walking around with purses and stuff like that. Because if you actually think, they actually get offended when you thinking.
Sorry, guys, I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, just carry on with the show, man. I think there's something wrong with the reception.
Okay, Leonard, no problem. Ray, you heard that he's having some issues with his.
I just think God dropped down for like a split second. I couldn't even hear, like the whole thing went blank. I'm like, oh yeah. Did y'all hear me say hello? Did y'all hear me say that?
Nah, I couldn't hear a word, man. Sorry, man.
No, we didn't even. I didn't even hear you, DJ.
Wow.
Me either.
Oh,
they started mess. They're
putting it on the passports now, so the passports are going to be gender neutral. So, yeah.
working on it here too, though. They try to. You better watch them.
Yeah, they trying the same thing over here too. We always been a step too slower than Europe, but they trying to get it to that point that we can go ahead and have the same thing as Europe as well.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Hey, back in the day, if y'all remember back in the day, like in the 90s, they didn't even want to show like condom commercials over here in America. So think about how far we done come since then.
Indeed. No, indeed. I mean, I just find it a shame with the whole Dwayne Wade thing. I'm not a basketball fan, but I know who he is. And it's a shame, man. Like, imagine I had that guy's genes. Look, like we said, we're not promoting hate, but I just think it's a shame. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you got probably one of the best genes in the world, and then, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I said, with all the stuff that he could do, the fact that he's behind this and that. Somebody said it before too. They wondered if Dwayne getting a bag from this, that he getting some money.
100%. No, 100%. 100%. Yeah, 100%. The devil pays well. The devil pays well.
Sell their own kids out. Sell their own kids out. Wow.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that, hey man, you already got generational wealth. You already set for life. So it's not like if they throw a couple million at you, what's $1 million to somebody like Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, no. To be fair, I hear what you're saying about the money, but the way I see it is that these guys, what they have, can easily be taken away, which is why I think they told that line. So even if they're rich, technically it's being given to them, so it could get taken off. So I think that's why they do it like that. That's just my opinion, though.
News. He actually has a really good point, because think about it. Bill Cosby had all these millions of dollars, but then when you got to fight 50 damn lawsuits from 50 different people with 50 different lawyers, that shit starts adding up and it drains your resources. So yeah, he has a hell of a point on that.
Yeah, but even with that being said, Ray, why somebody like Bill Cosby won't just be straight with that shit though? Like, hey, yo, they fucking with me, fam. Niggas are coming to his aid.
You want to know why? Because that rumor's out there that he's a rapist. Because if you say something, then they're gonna say, "Oh, so you're gonna back up a rapist?" Yes. That's what.
Right, but hold on, Right, but was the rapist situation before Bill Cosby's father was killed by? I think it was. No, I'll get back to that in a minute. But I was going to say, was that before Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC? News? You see what I'm saying? Or did that come afterwards? You see what I'm saying? I think it came after.
But if you remember, not only did he try to buy NBC, but at one time, remember, he was part of a group that was looking to buy the Washington Redskins back in the 90s as well, too.
Shit, I didn't know that.
With Bill Cosby, you guys should look at the interview Vicky Diller did with Bill Cosby, the lawyer. She go into detail about why, they did what they did to him. It was really good. You guys should watch it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch it up. There's been so many good Bill Cosby interviews lately and whatnot. Yeah. And, they still coming after Bill. They want Bill to go ahead and pay that money up for these two chicks back in the 70s that talk about he did this and did that to him. They caught the girls in lies and whatnot, and still was able to get him on the silver suit.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, they want Bill Cosby and they want their property. I'm telling you guys, you need to look at their interview because it's crazy. They want their property. And Bill Cosby is still very, very rich.
Right. So, Bill Cosby's property sits on an oil reserve, yo.
Yeah,
DJ, I swear you beat the words out of my mouth. I swear I was just getting ready to say that. Bill is one of his estates. I want to say the one that's in like Massachusetts or something. It's sitting on some big time oil, and they can't get access to it. So
No, that's crazy. No one can hear me, but yeah, it's 4 a.m. here, so I really appreciate the space and thank you for taking the time to talk about this real quick.
No problem, Leonard, man. Just go ahead and, like I say, go ahead and follow Newstoter, click the notifications, and we do spaces here in America, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday. So Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in America is what we do. So go ahead and click your notification, and when you get a chance, I know it's a big time difference. You can always catch up with us.
Hey, News, also let him know it's also on YouTube, so he ain't got to stay up there late.
Yeah, you got the replay, bro, on YouTube, Newstoter, bro.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel Newstoter, and you can always catch. Cool. It's up in the Jumbotron actually as well, so you can click on the Jumbotron. I don't know if you see the Jumbotron up there.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and click on that, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can catch us and catch the replays on most of the Twitter spaces. Pretty much most of them, we go ahead and record and put it on there.
Cool. No worries, I'll do that. I really appreciate it, guys. Take care. Thank you for the time. All the best, yeah.
No doubt, man. You take care. Be easy over there in Europe.
I'll do my best.
Hey, Lennon, check this out before you go. Let me get a fag, man. Come on, yo. Now you got to smoke for me.
I just quit smoking, so yeah.
Oh, man, come on, man. Come on. See you later, bro.
Moderation, though, but yeah, thanks, guys. All the best, yeah. Take it easy.
Peace. Yeah, man. I can't even imagine what it's like to live over there in Europe. God damn.
Nah, that's what a cigarette is for those that know. They call it a fag. F-A-G.
Yeah.
Let me get a fag.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying, DJ.
Oh, yeah, no homo, right? Real shit.
Well, Ray, DJ, y'all want to go ahead and add something to the discussion for tonight, man? Go ahead and get ready to wrap it up, I guess.
Even though I'm not a co-host tonight, I definitely would like to have everyone, please, let's do a mass block party of TS tonight. Please do not hesitate.
Oh yeah. Mass. After this is over with, not to cut you off, but definitely.
Yeah. Hey, look. Hold on. Get in the Jumbotron, though, y'all. But go ahead, Ray.
No. The last thing I was gonna say, honestly, family, we cannot be afraid to speak truth to power. We really can't. If wrong is wrong, no matter who's trying to promote it. We know that, it's wrong to cut a little boy's penis off. We know it's wrong to give these little girls that Lupron or whatever it's called, that medication that, they give sex offenders to castrate them. We know all this is wrong. Everybody in the space agrees. We have to stand on truth. If it costs us, hey, it costs us. But if what we don't check right now, the next generation is going to suffer, and I'm going to land on that.
All right, DJ, you got it.
Hey, give me 2 seconds. I'm actually trying to find a picture to show y'all if possible. I know we're trying to close out in a minute, but give me 2 seconds.
No problem.
DJ, news, did you see that R. Kelly got some more charges?
He got some more charges. The Secret Sister has sent something in the DMs, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. What they charge him with now?
I'm gonna be honest. I need to look at it myself. I didn't read the full article. I saw it too when that sister put it out, but I didn't read it all. But yeah, they making sure to make an example out of his ass.
Oh man, I mean, isn't he pretty much in jail for the rest of his life, anyways?
They doing too much. They doing too much. Come on. You guys may disagree with me and all that, but I know in my mind, R. Kelly did not deserve that sentence. Come on now, all of that and the things they're accusing him of was did it originally, and compared to what now RICO charge is ridiculous. And I go to. And like I said, men and women may not agree with me on this, but what I'm going to say is controversial and everything, but I'm sorry. Men, period, have been doing what they accuse them of for a million years. Marrying girls or whatever they accuse them of for years. And still doing it, especially the white men, they doing that. So you just going to lock them up with something that you do on the daily basis. Trying to act like they just big old hypocrites. He did not deserve what they're doing to him. He didn't.
I know, I'm just wondering. I'm like, well, damn, he already got 30 some odd years and this much time.
Yeah.
How much more time they gonna tack on?
Forever. They want him to be in there forever. According to Secret Sister, I don't know if it's true what you say, R. Kelly, and we all know he can sing. She said he's worth trillions of dollars, just his voice. And he's illiterate, really. That's what she was saying. It's not me. She said it. I had heard that before.
He's illiterate. Illiterate.
Yeah, but he's not. When it comes to music, he ain't. I mean, the boy is talented. You know, and even when all this was first happening, when they started accusing him and all of that, before he was in jail, my friend said, no, they just mad because he's still pulling them in, like the young women, and they jealous of that. But yeah, it's ridiculous what they've charged that man with. And I got offended again. And y'all just gonna let this happen to the brother? Because next they're gonna be at your door for anything. He even did all of that. Nowhere near what they accuse him of. And where the damn RICO charges come in for?
Yeah, that part, the RICO, because when I'm thinking about RICO, I'm thinking about mob type stuff. I'm thinking about like organized crime and whatnot. Like, so
they can make up anything on it, and everybody quiet. The black community is this quiet on it.
Hey, news. That's what they're getting a lot of rappers on.
Yeah, the RICO.
They're using their lyrics to get RICO charges, man. That might be a hell of a space there.
Oh yeah, they starting to RICO the rappers and whatnot. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, because I got into it with somebody, and I was like, listen, they were saying that the rappers basically deserved it because if they was doing this and that. And I'm like, well, I say, if you want to be honest, now let's look at some of these mob movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas and stuff like that. I'm like, what do you think they get the actual ideas from these movies from? From actual real mafia type people and stuff like that.
That stuff is true.
Like, are they doing RICO?
Yeah, the mafia stuff, that's their fans. They're not only saying it, they're telling you what they have done.
Absolutely.
So they're not locked up. Well, they're not locked up, but what they actually did.
What about the NFL? Back in the 80s, all those players were blackmailing women who sent nude pictures. And they were getting gangs of money from these women to protect their images. That's RICO. They'll see what the NFL do. They're the system. What about all these bands and groups? It was a lady with a well-noted black group, and we all loved them. And she said she was on her knees too many times, and she was a backup singer. What about, all these other baseball and football players? They had women, and a lot of horrible things went on, though they're walking away scot-free. Grandfathers and all that today. I'm not just talking about the black men, plenty of white men.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. You're telling the truth on that. Hell, look at how they went after Bill Cosby. All of this stuff they talk about went down at the Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner, all of this stuff happened at the Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner, they did like a little documentary on him. But Hugh Hefner been dead for how long? Like, none of this stuff ever touched Hugh Hefner while he was alive. All of this stuff, they talk about all of these assaults and all of this drug use and all of this stuff that went on in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and all this other stuff. No, Hugh Hefner was looked at as some kind of damn like national treasure. He was looked at this as this sex stud and whatnot by a lot of white folks. Nobody said a damn thing about it. Now they want to go ahead. They want to get Bill Cosby on what went down the Playboy Mansion, but the man who actually owned the place had the Playboy bunnies. And like you were saying, sister, like these older men and these young women, Hugh Hefner, goddamn, was like about 70-something years old with 20-year-old chicks. So you can imagine, like back in the day.
Younger than that.
Hey, we got don't forget now, we got to throw Elvis in there too, because y'all can Google this too. Elvis used to really like young cherries, like the cherries you eat. And I've heard that, excuse me, that he started dating Priscilla back when she was like 14 and he was 24.
Yeah, 13 and 14. I heard that too. That's been out.
I'm gonna just say a link.
Actually, she started in the book, a novel about when he came to her underage. Yep.
Do you really think they was gonna put the king of so-called rock and roll in jail about that?
Never.
Well, Michael Jordan said in his book that fathers were sending pictures of their daughters. White men were sending pictures of their daughters. They wanted him to hook up with their daughters. Money.
Mm-hmm.
That's about that money, sister. You're right. I mean, and that's another thing, and that's not to excuse anything that R. Kelly did or did not do, but I'll say this part here too, like, and me and DJ talked about it, like, what about these damn parents that were sitting up there sending their daughters to this dude?
Exactly.
And like I said, that's not to go ahead, and I'm not saying that that if he took the daughters, that was the right thing. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that a lot of time, nobody said anything about these parents. Nobody said anything about these mothers sending their daughters up there to this man.
Mothers
whatsoever. And fathers. You're right.
They
and
just
fathers.
trying to get money. You know, they didn't care. How you gonna come back and care 20 years later?
And then, like, I hear people, they always,
money dried up.
You know, people always, they like to mention Elijah Muhammad name into that stuff. Like, you know, Elijah was a pedophile and this and that. I'm like, wait. Hold on, let's go back. Let's rewind. As I said, I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to say what Elijah did do or did not do was right or whatever. I said, well, let's go back. At the time, the law, there were no statutory laws like that back in the day when Elijah was supposedly doing this stuff.
Right.
So
that's what I said. Men been doing that for years. Come on.
Also, I'm like, this is like a lot of those women that they talk about Elijah was with supposedly were 18 years and older. So they weren't exactly. I know that he might have been a good deal older. He might have been in his 50s or late 40s or whatever when he started getting involved with these young women. I said, but let's not act like these were teenagers, like, so to speak. Like, these were actually consenting adult women, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but I didn't hear any of them like being like.
I think they were younger. I think they were, but it still don't matter. Men been doing that for years. It hasn't been an issue.
Instead of speak about the Nation of Islam, have y'all seen this narrative that they've been putting out that Malcolm X is bisexual?
Oh,
yeah, like I told you before, that's a lie, man. They started saying, you had some white boy write a book about that years ago, and they tried to go ahead and put that on, and that's been debunked. Like that's a lie. I don't even entertain that nonsense.
White futuristic grandsons to know that Malcolm was plucking them bunnies. That's why, yo.
Yeah, if J. Edgar Hoover and them had all kind of surveillance on Malcolm X, they could find all kind of dirt, and if that was the case and stuff like that, they would have put that out there. They had nothing on him, so that's just nonsense right there.
Nonsense. Right.
DJ, I know you said you wanted to add something. You said you had something you wanted to put in the Jumbotron or something?
Yeah, just check the Jumbotron far left. We was talking about Bill Cosby right there. Far left side. But yeah, check the information in the Jumbotron. Support Newstoter, follow Ray right here. Follow everybody, follow each other. You already know.
Right.
Reparations up, y'all.
Mass Black Party. Don't forget, Mass Black Party for TS.
Oh yeah.
I'm on it right now. I'm holding where that.
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and block too, because like I said, I tried to be decent, but you see what decent gets. So yeah, the TS definitely can't come up in the Newstoter space no more. Definitely.
The family said I gotta block UTS. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? No homos. No homos.
Yeah, DJ, you got something you want to add before I close it out?
Get in the Jumbotron, share the information. Pull up on Jersey over here, North New Jersey, Wednesday, 11 o'clock to 1 p.m. We pulling up for the reparations. And get up on our new social media platform called Social, SOXCIAL, SOXCIAL.com, SOXCIAL. See you up there. One love.
Yeah, we're going to catch y'all tomorrow. We'll be back. Definitely appreciate everybody that came into the actual space tonight. We're going to be doing a political space tomorrow. So I canceled the one about Karen Bass. We're going to probably go ahead and bring that one back tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all join us 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same time as always, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're following us. Y'all make sure y'all click the notifications too for Newstoter so you can stay up to date on all the posts that we go ahead and put out. So definitely go ahead and make sure you guys join us tomorrow. We should have a nice conversation. So we'll see you guys until then. And y'all be safe and y'all have a good night.